Go first. I can tell. Normally it'll give me something. What's up, you guys? David Fox here with the Keeping It Real Estate podcast and Synergy Realty Group. We got my man Jerry Bobbitt. Jerry, how we doing today?
Good.
Fantastic. And the man himself, Jordan Bobbitt. How we doing, brother?
Doing all right.
All right, big week in well, specifically mortgages, but real estate in general. Looks like just yesterday, actually, my feed was popping off with Donald Trump hinting at or proposing at 50-year mortgages. So we're going to spend a lot of time talking about that, people's reactions. This is a brand new thing, right? Never been offered before, Jerry, right? Is that it?
Wrong answer. No. So over the weekend, I was in my feed seeing these 50-year loans going on, and I'm like, what's going on?
Why are they popular now?
Why are they all of a sudden popular? As we've discussed, I've been doing it since 91, and in 91, 50-year loans were being offered. Nobody ever did them. I've never done anything more than a 30. So anyways, just to see a 50-year being brought up was kind of comical because it's something that's been offered. We checked, and it's been around forever. Now, my only question is, I don't know if it's an FHA product at 50 years. So if it's a 50-year for FHA being offered, that might be new. Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna hop right into this because the whole thing is a lot of the show today is talking about the 50 years, but then there's the way to look at it as, is it going to help housing affordability? And then there's always an opportunity cost, which Jordan did. What show is it where he's like, data, what is that? I know it's an old show. I didn't watch it, but I want to say it's like Gilligan's Island or something. Like
Gulligan?
Gulliver's Trap, whatever it is.
You mean Gilligan's Island?
Whatever. I said I didn't watch it, right? I didn't watch, but is there a guy named Data there who's like, he's like
No.
quick on, no? All right. No. Jordan is our data guy though. So he's always quick on the draw with it. So there's the opportunity cost, which we'll get into. But I want to hop right into this is the Reddit rundown, but these are from Threads. Do you guys play with Threads at all? You mess with Threads?
I know what they are. Have I signed up or downloaded it? No.
All right. Well, just to fill everyone in, okay. So the news, and I'm gonna share this so that you can kind of see what I see. So President Donald Trump on November 9th appeared to propose mortgages with 50-year terms, but they've been around for a while, which is confusing. We are indeed working on the 50-year mortgage, a complete game changer. That is the Federal Housing Finance Agency Director, Bill Pulte. So that's where Jerry's talking about. Are they going to be backed? Are they going to be federally backed? Meaning if someone defaults, then the U.S. government, a.k.a. the taxpayers, a.k.a. all the working class, right, picks up the tab. So it's... Right? I mean, it's
sorry. It just opened up a can of worms in my head where you said Americans pay it, and I don't know if the watching audience understands what percent of working Americans, pay federal income tax.
What percentage of working?
What percentage of Americans pay federal income
Americans?
tax?
Yeah, United States Americans pay federal income
citizens?
tax. Yeah.
Or don't pay would be the better.
I would say those who pay taxes is probably 40% federal income tax.
Yeah, it's about 40%.
Now, no, about 45% don't pay 1 cent into the federal income tax.
Okay.
Nothing.
Where does it go?
They don't pay.
They don't pay.
What do you mean? Where does it go?
They
There's
don't
nothing
make
to go.
enough money.
When you say that, so like if a lot of our self-employed people, like they tax plan to avoid such things.
Sure.
But they're not 60% of the population. So what are the other people? Are they just ignoring a tax bill?
They don't make enough money.
Either one, they don't make enough. Two, I think it was a vast majority that.
If you make like under a threshold, you don't pay federal income tax.
Not only do you not pay, you get more money back.
Yeah.
Than you put in.
I guess I. Oh.
You're not in that tax bracket.
What's the number? What's the number? Wait, so they give you money? They give you like money back?
Yeah.
So
Welcome to America.
you don't pay taxes, and you get money. How much money?
I don't.
I think I know where we're going with this. Like so, like
no, which opens a whole other can of worms for me because man, this is getting off topic and I apologize.
Yeah.
Because I got unemployment. Right, first time in 55 years I've ever received unemployment during COVID. During COVID. Right, so we get unemployment during COVID because our governor in her infinite wisdom sarcasm,
Yeah.
stated that real estate agents were non-essential. So housing is non-essential for all you Michiganders out there. We couldn't do real estate.
She
deemed
deemed you
real
guys
estate as
unessential.
non-essential.
Huh.
14,600 is the
If you make less than 14 grand.
So basically 15 grand.
Which nobody. I mean,
How do you
can't. It's
make less?
impossible.
How do you make less than $14,000 a year?
Well, after
Yeah, other than not working. I mean,
Yeah.
you're not working. You're clearly
Yeah.
not working.
Clearly.
You're clearly not
Clearly.
working. And they get money back?
well, he's saying money back because when you're on a W
So you're on
two, you're
government
paying
assistance.
tax out of their check. They're taking it, and then at the end you get your tax refund,
I see.
and that's where you're getting your money
I
back.
see. Huh. I mean, $14,000 a year. There's 2,000 working hours in a year.
Yeah.
So you're making $1.20 an hour? Like how are you not? You're clearly not
You're
working.
making
You're not working full time. It's like 2,000.
$7.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, 7 at 2. 7. That's 14,000. $7.
Oh, is that what it? I missed the decimal.
Yeah, it's
I
okay.
missed the decimal. Yeah, I need my calculator. So 2,000.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you're
$7.
right,
That's
you're right, you're right,
14,000.
2,000 working hours. Okay, yeah, $7 an hour. So, all right. So you're saying
Nobody.
60% of Americans are
It's for- yeah, it's-
below that?
No. 60.
40.
No. It's 45% pay nothing.
It's 40. I just checked.
Is it 40?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm
It's
sorry,
like-
I'm off.
Yeah, it's
40.
40% do not pay. And it's federal income taxes.
Okay. All right. So then, if these 50-year mortgages get approved, and they become federally backed, and the homeowner defaults, only 60% of the tax-paying population is picking up the tab through tax.
Well, 60% of Americans, because that's all that's paying, of working
And
Americans.
you also have to remember too. I mean, there's sales tax, there's other taxes.
Sure.
I mean, so it's not
Yeah.
like they're not paying any taxes, but there's no federal income taxes.
But
So
anyways,
they're still paying taxes, just
but
not.
at the end of
federal
the
income
day,
taxes.
if they default, tax-paying Americans are backing it. And that's what happened back in the crash.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. I still think a lot of people don't realize how, though. When they say, why doesn't the government just pay? Like, they don't realize that it comes back to pay the piper
someone's always paying.
on their check,
right.
right? Like,
Someone's always paying.
on
And if it's a federal debt, then the taxpayers are paying
people
it.
are paying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
not to get even more off subject, but I was watching news. It was a clip from a news station, so it wasn't like just some random person on the news. It was
Yeah.
like the news anchor was saying this, and she was saying at her nail salon.
I heard about
Yeah,
this.
I showed to you. They
Is
had
this local?
no,
this is
they had-
national.
Yeah,
It's
this was
like-
like a national news. They're like at my
like
nail
Chicken Noodle
salon.
News, if you know what that one
I've-
is.
Chicken Noodle News?
CNN.
No. Oh, I see.
It wasn't that one though. But she said people from they were firing nail techs from her nail salon because people weren't coming in because they don't have the money because they have to use their money to buy the food since they don't have the SNAP benefits anymore. So in a roundabout way, she basically told people, hey, we have to fire our lash techs because people have to go buy food instead of spending money on lashes. So she basically told on themselves without realizing, which I don't think she realized that she told on herself.
She's not that smart.
But
So it was a news reporter
Correct.
reporting on this sob story of why can't the government get along during the shutdown, and this is how it's affecting small business owners.
Yeah.
And they're saying we're losing our clientele because they're not coming in to get their hair, nail, lashes done.
Yep.
Because now all of that quote unquote expendable income, nails or hair, that stuff's expensive. Like
Yeah.
Amanda, like I feel like it's $80. Like every
Shut
time
up.
minimum.
How much?
Minimum.
for lashes.
Oh, for lashes. I'm like, you're not getting your hair done if you're a female for $80.
No. Well, if
I'm
it's
like,
a hair
I know
salon,
Amanda.
Okay, so if it's a hair salon, like I feel like at minimum 150. Like to get, like if you're getting color or whatever. I don't know why I know this, but like
Keep going up.
Yeah,
Keep
so
going.
yeah, I said minimum. I said,
And then you got a
it's
tip.
Yes, yeah, that doesn't include tip. Like that's just flat rate. And she sees someone who works out of her house. Like
That's why it's only 150.
she's
Who does
done
she
it-
use? Sherry needs that
they're
name.
They're in Holland or Holly. Yeah, they're in Howell. They're in Howell.
I'm like, that's a long drive.
Yeah, she's been going there since we lived in South Line. But they, So all they're saying, well, we're losing our clientele. I wish the government would get along. Now they need to go spend their money on groceries because the SNAP benefits are covering it.
Yeah.
Bingo.
And so we're so poor, but I'm spending on these
Yes.
on these luxuries. What city was that?
I can go find the video, but I don't remember what city it was. But it was a major news station that posted it.
And they were trying to like condemn the government
Correct.
shutdown, and in the meantime, it was kind of incriminating to people that were giving SNAP benefits to.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, she didn't realize. I don't think that what she was implying was negative against SNAP benefits. Like, people on SNAP benefits are going and paying hundreds of dollars to get their hair and nails done, but they can't afford groceries.
I don't know what SNAP benefits are. I've never heard of SNAP benefits. Is
Like,
is that
it's like
food
food
stamps?
stamps
Did they
and-
change the name?
Well, it's just a type of.
I think it's
benefit.
another
Yeah,
federal
it's just
program.
Different program.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that is the news of the week of the 50 years like that. So now you're all caught up to speed on how our government does things.
But hey, on
so-
the Denver, on the shutdown.
Yeah.
See, sorry, we got on
Yeah.
that whole thing. Democrats finally.
Yeah,
I don't want to say caved,
It was this morning, though.
but they
right?
saw the light.
I have a question. So, what do you? And this is conjecture a little bit. What is the motivation? What is the motivation for something like SNAP benefits, and even, what's the motivation for SNAP benefits or backing debts with the federal government as opposed to letting just the people, the banks have it? Like, what is the ultimate motivation? Is it we just
Are you
don't-
saying what's the reason?
What's the motivation for a lawmaker to do such things as opposed to being like
To win votes.
Yeah.
So
they want to make sure, because their reasoning is nobody should go hungry, especially if you're working. So if you're working and you still can't afford food, then the government will be there to make sure you don't go hungry.
What?
I just answered what they would say.
But this is on the and this is gonna sound harsh. This is on the concept that your 40-hour work week should be able to cover all of your existence and your desired luxuries. Is that the premise?
Well, no, this is, I mean, you don't even have to be working, because not everybody getting a SNAP benefit works. So a large portion of them
So they're
do
not
work.
they're not verifying income.
Well, you
or-
can
or
you can
work.
get SNAP benefits if your children can get SNAP benefits. You know, if your parents aren't making a certain income, then you can get
You get more.
more. If you're
The more kids you have.
Yeah, if you're mentally handicapped and you can't work, those you've got certain individuals like that.
Yeah,
on,
Which those I'd probably
Wait,
get behind.
well,
I
yeah,
could-
and
I
that's
could
what I'm
probably,
saying.
if you're physically, but even mentally handicapped, that's a tough one, right? But like if you're in a wheelchair, dog, you can still work. Like
And that's the thing, right? And so, I mean, and then I don't want, people watching thinking, oh, those three guys are just
Yeah,
harsh.
yeah.
And I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we're all on the same page. If somebody is physically unable,
Yeah.
right? If you're elderly, if you're a child, I'll call it the sins of the father, right?
Yeah.
Just because you're parents doesn't mean the kids should go hungry. And I
Right.
think we're all on the same page that we need to take care of those people
Sure.
that are unable
Yeah.
to take care of themselves.
Yeah.
But it's not our responsibility to take care of somebody, like you said. And again, please, no hate mail. If you're in a wheelchair,
Yeah.
that in and of itself doesn't mean I can't work.
Right.
Jordan and I were working with a gentleman who owns multiple businesses. He's an attorney, and he's in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
He's had, and if I could tell you some of his stories, he's had some bad situations. Nothing to do with him being in a wheelchair. Just he made a business venture,
Sure.
and then the other person didn't live up to their end of the deal, and really screwed him financially. And he doesn't let that stop him.
Sure.
He's still successful.
Yeah.
So just because you have a disability, fill in your blank,
Yeah.
doesn't mean you can't work.
I wonder. So for SNAP benefit, how does the application process go? I mean, that's probably a different conversation.
Yeah.
Because how does that We need to get who do we know? You know a social worker? We need to get a social worker on here.
I do.
Do you?
Yeah, but
Do we not want them on here?
no, I just tend to see social workers have a different mentality of it's the government's responsibility. And I say the government because that's an easier pill to swallow when you say it's the government's responsibility, not it's everybody's responsibility. It's your responsibility.
So that comes back to your. It's not even like a belief; it's an understanding of how it actually works.
Right.
Like, I mean, when you're in debt, who's going to pay the country's bill? It's
well,
not
you
the
don't have
tax,
to
but
just print up more money. And we've talked about this, right? So you just print up more money.
Yeah, there you go. Well, that and inflation's
And
the
then
hidden
I
tax.
was just going to say, and then there goes inflation, right?
Inflation's the hidden tax. All right, so
Back on
maybe
track.
we should talk to. We should get him in, man. We should get him because I think that would be interesting. And I'm gonna hand the moderator mic to you on that episode to make sure we don't bro. I would get us all flagged. Like they're like Fox is not allowed to. He can't
Where's
moderate this. Like
We'll
I'm
give this guy
gonna
a
violate every.
Where's the mute button?
Yeah, protected. All right, so 50 years, and this is a solution to the housing market problem: affordable homes. So.
And I would disagree.
And I'm just I'm not a math whiz, but you don't need to be a math whiz to investment problems. It's fourth grade math, right? It's fractions, it's percentages. That's really it. All it does is it makes your payment a little bit smaller for a longer time.
Or does it make the seller of the home say, now my house is worth more because my payments just went down?
I don't look at housing affordability like that. You're saying the seller. Well, yeah. I mean, but we talked about unreasonable sellers last week.
Sure, but I think over the long haul, if sellers start seeing
He's saying if it becomes
an
not
increased
a
bidding
popular,
more.
yeah,
yeah,
if it becomes popular, more and more people are going to be willing to pay more because, well, I can afford it now. And this is something that people in real estate and especially mortgages, people don't really, I don't want to say they don't care about the sales price, but just tell me what my payment's going to be.
That's all they care
I
about.
don't care.
That is, yeah.
I don't care about anything else. Just what's my payment going to be?
Yeah.
What do I have to put down? And what's my payment going to be? So for the people who don't think about, okay, well, it's a 50-year versus a 30-year and the pros and cons and everything like that, they're just going to see, oh, I want a $350,000 house, not a $325,000 house. Using this 50-year mortgage thing, I can do that. So I want to do that. And now if more and more people start to do that, your house just went up in value because you've got more and more people willing to pay more because they don't really care about the sales price. They only care about what the monthly payment's going to be. Now, of course, you'll still have to worry about appraisal and things like that. So it's going to take a little bit of a catch-up time, I think, to actually increase the value because, let's say 50 years mortgages are allowed tomorrow. Your house isn't going to automatically be worth $10,000 more because they're allowed. Appraisal still isn't going to matter. And if you're doing a 50-year mortgage because you want to afford a little bit more on the house, you probably don't have that $10,000 to cover that appraisal gap. But I think so. It's going to take some time for prices to go up if the 50-year happens, but it's not. I think they still will go up.
Well, if you're a lawmaker, what is the? And this is still very early in the. It was a tweet yesterday, right? So it's still very, who knows if it's going to turn into anything. But if you're a lawmaker, what is your I don't want to be a lawmaker. We talked about that pre-show. What is the answer to make houses cheaper?
Deregulate.
Eliminate
Deregulation.
Eliminate the Federal Reserve. What do you mean deregulate?
Deregulate.
Deregulate the loans?
No. Deregulate builders and the material, right? Do you know the average sale price of a house in the United States is like $380,000? It might be a little bit more.
It's
right
higher
now.
than that, I think,
right?
actually.
And this is what I did.
Nationwide,
I checked this about a year, maybe a year and a half ago. Could be 2 years. Average sale price in the United States was like $380,000. Of the average sale price, and our guru over here can check and validate what I say. What is the cost? Yeah, what is the cost added to a new construction home just because of regulations in the United States, regulation laws, from beginning to end.
When you say regulation laws, are you referring to like permits and union
Building code, yeah.
union certs
It's-
and
it's-
trainings and
It's wood, how it has to
I
be
would
processed.
say
It's the
20,000.
More than that.
keep going.
It's a lot because you got to get.
It's like
oh, yeah.
60. It's like $60-some thousand
In regulation
just
costs?
in regulation
Like
costs.
what's included in these regulation costs?
Well, again, it goes all the way back from material, right? So when I harvest
Oh,
wood,
so you-
right, there's
oh, I see.
regulations that these contractors have to go off of when they're building or when they're tearing down trees, right? They can only tear down so many trees per acre. That's a regulation, right? Instead of me being able to harvest as much as I wanted, now, California's huge with regulations, right?
Sure.
Environmental regulations, and it goes on and on and on. So when you take all the costs of these regulations into account for an average sale price of new construction now, I don't know what's your magical number
In
say?
2021, the National Association of Home Builders study regulations imposed by federal, state, and local governments was estimated to account for 23.8% of the final sales price of a new single-family home. So almost a quarter. I mean, you're 2% shy or 1.2% shy of a quarter of the new home construction cost came from.
And the average sale
regulations.
price of a new home now is
So average for new built homes
gotta
in
be high threes.
2025 was 534
it's almost
Nationwide.
100,000.
nationwide.
So $100,000 of that is because of regulations. And you want to know why prices of houses go up? I had this conversation with an official. I won't say an elected official because thank God she did not win. With an official, and that was some of my questions that I was asking her. Is like, what are your?
Local?
It was state. It was a state rep that she was running for. And I said, what's your, and I already knew, but, I got to walk her through slowly. Are you for, affordable housing? Well, absolutely. She's for affordable housing. Are you for green building? Yeah, I think every builder should be green. Do you think it should be, if the builder isn't going to be compliant on their own, are you willing to make laws to force them to be more green, right? More energy efficient? Well, absolutely. So walking her through all this, and I'm like, do you understand what the cost,
It's oxymoronic.
right? You want affordable housing,
Yeah.
but then in the same breath, you're saying, I want every builder to be green.
Yeah.
And you're going to add another 10% to cost, but you want the housing to be cheaper. It's just, your math isn't adding up.
I would be curious. What percentage of politicians have business experience?
Most
Like-
politicians are attorneys.
So less than 10%?
Oh, I would,
Yeah,
man, you're putting me on.
I pull it up because
Former business owners, was that the question?
Well, you don't necessarily need to be the business. I mean, ideally, sure, that's preferred. But you need to, clearly it comes down to having just no concept of the cost of things. And even like you say, all right, boom, well, here's what we're doing. We're mandating every person have this much. Apply that to a 400-person construction company. I mean, those costs do become astronomical. Even if it's
You'll bankrupt
even
them
if it's
sometimes.
$1,000
Yeah.
per employee is what it costs, and whether it's an admin hours or extra training, or let's say that's overtime for them, and like just all of these things that they're like, you talk to a business owner about it, and you're like, yeah, dude, that's crazy, And I think a lot of there are companies who do unethical things, right?
Sure.
Yeah, but a lot of them self-regulate to perform the most efficiently. Any business's goal is to make a profit, turn a profit, right? And so the more burden that you add onto that, like you can only cut the fat so many ways, and then you're like, well, this is going to have to get pushed onto my end user, we talked about insurance in Florida on homes, right? If insurance now comes up, like those insurance companies, if they're, for whatever it is, if their costs go up, they're like, well, we're going to extend those on to the home buyer, unless it's just scandal, which could be, right? What percentage of politicians?
30% have been business owners, founders, or executives
That
of
sounds
business.
extremely high.
I think so.
That
too.
sounds astronomically high.
I
So-
bet you it is attorneys saying, "Well, yeah, I own my own practice."
Yes, yeah. I'm gonna need to see a business. You run
This
a
is
small
to
business
Congress.gov, so,
more
I
than,
mean,
more than 10 people.
Yeah.
Like that's self-employed doesn't
see.
count.
And
Yeah.
Ben Carson made a great point. He's like, if you remember our founding fathers and our original politicians, what were they by profession?
Who are you, like Ben Franklin and them?
Yeah. A lot of the beginning forefathers
I-
and congressmen and
You're asking the wrong dude. I have
yeah.
no idea. Business guys, probably.
they were doctors.
Yeah.
They were all doctors.
They
or
were
some
doctors.
attorneys, and some were this, but they were all working people. Because I mean, you have to remember, it's not like politicians
So-
are a career job like they are now.
Oh, sure. I
So
see.
what do doctors do?
They-
What's their job at the end of the day?
They're to heal people.
To fix it,
Yeah.
fix the problem,
Yeah.
right? What's the problem? Let's fix it. What do attorneys do by profession?
They bill hours.
They win, right? I don't care if I'm right or wrong. Who's my client? And I got to win.
Mm-hmm.
So whether you're right or wrong, I don't care if you killed somebody. My job is to make the victim now you're the victim,
Interesting.
right? And so he said that's the problem with our government.
That's interesting. That's an interesting.
And it
Like
really
you're
was like an epiphany.
You're representing OJ.
That's it.
That my job's to whether it's we're not talking ethical or unethical. We're talking like you paid me to win a case.
That's it.
Like that's interesting.
And it really was. I'm like, man, he's right. You don't care what the problem is, right? We don't dissect it like a doctor would be. If you've got cancer, how do we do it? We got to take out the cancer, right? If you got a broken arm, we got to fix the broken arm. When it comes to an attorney, I don't care if your arm's broken, right?
Interesting. That's actually really interesting. I would be that 30%. There's
I think that's high.
it's so errant.
Like, so that's just Congress
Yeah. That's
saying-
Congress saying that they're.
Well, and you
business
also have
owners.
to remember it said it was a business owner or an
Or an executive.
or I mean,
Define executive.
Yeah, I mean there was a bunch of different options for you
Yeah.
to fall under.
I agree.
So I'm sure that wasn't. There was one other thing though that.
All right, so we're gonna while you're pulling that up, we're gonna get into our first of the Reddit rundowns, actually from Threads, and this says this is as bad as Reddit, by the way. Like it's Instagram's Twitter, or Instagram's X is what Threads is. Sold by Sage. Hot take on 50-year mortgages. Mortgages were never meant to be met. You should not spend 30 or 50 years paying for your home. You pay 3 to 4 times over that way. Accept the lower payment, make additional payments to principal, and pay off early to avoid interest. A longer term makes the mortgage more affordable. Doesn't mean 50 years to pay it off, people. You should be doing that. You shouldn't be doing that with a 30-year mortgage either way. Your logic is definitely sound, but the masses won't do this. And for many of us, their principal will barely go down. They need to sell. They'd be trading for lower equity. That's a valid point. I think because most people move every 7 years,
5 to 7.
5 to 7 years. So that's valid.
And I think another point that he said too is the masses don't do this. You already can on a 30-year mortgage pay another payment.
Correct.
I mean, we talked about this.
Yeah.
I think either 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. And people don't do it. So in theory, while she may be correct, hey, just take the lower payment and pay off when you can, people aren't doing that.
They're not disciplined.
And we've already kind of talked
Yep.
about the people that are going to be doing the
Correct.
50-year mortgage are going to be the people who just look at the monthly payment, not look at anything else and say, yeah, that's what I want.
What is the default? Do we know the default rate of a 15 versus 30 year right now?
No, I would have to look that up.
My guess is a 15 is less than a 30.
I would assume so.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're not
The mentality of a 15, it's
100%.
just the mentality of
100%.
somebody that's saying, I'm going to pay this thing off in 15 is
Yeah.
probably going to be a little bit more conscientious.
aggressive
Yep,
too
with their money.
They're certainly going to be more aggressive. I firmly agree because you're like anyone who's like, what's my payment? To your point, what's my payment? Versus if you're like, wait, I'm paying an extra $250,000 over 50 years. I think a lot of it depends on. Yeah, what's the scenario in which a 50 years attractive to you? It's not really attractive to me at all.
If you absolutely want a house and you can't afford the payment on a 30-year,
But it's what we did the spread. It's $200, $250. Like if $250, I think it was. Don't blame me for quoting him. It was either I hope it's Jay-Z. I hope it wasn't Diddy. I hope it was Jay-Z. If you can't buy it twice, don't buy it once. Like, if you can't pay for it twice, don't pay for it once. And if the $250 is the difference, now what's the average payment now? $2,000.
But again, you're talking, and it goes back to what we were talking about before on a 15 to 30, or what he's made a comment, or she made the comment.
Yeah.
You know, the masses don't have that mentality. If you can't buy it once, you know, they just don't have that mentality. It's more of, I want immediate gratification, and if that house is going to make me happy.
It was Jay-Z, by the way, thankfully. Yeah, because I don't need to be
you know,
anchored to Diddy.
we have to buy some baby oil or something.
Yeah. If you can't buy 2,000 bottles, don't buy one.
Don't buy the pallet.
That went dark. That went dark.
That
But yeah,
digressed.
I agree. I agree because, I mean, the $250, you're talking to a dude who would like.
And that's on a $400,000 house, by the way, too. So don't forget, it's not like you're talking about, oh, you know, it's a $200,000 house, and I mean, you're talking
And
almost
for-
a $500,000 house, and it's a $250 payment between a 30 and 50 year.
Yeah. And for people thinking, oh, they don't know what it's like to struggle, Jordan doesn't own a home. Dave and I own homes. And
I owned a home by accident. like it was lit. I thought I was big ballin' back in the day with $13,000 to put down, and my real estate agent was like, "That's all." I was like, I felt like it was a lot,
Right?
but I guess not.
So-
and she's like, "I don't know if this is gonna work out," you know, but like the home, it's not. You've been to my house. It's not like I've put some sweat equity in it. I learned how to do things. It's not glamorous though. It's from the '60s. You know, my grandpa built it, and it's just.
and that's really what I was leaning towards is I don't want the viewers to think, oh, you guys don't know what it's like.
Yeah.
No, we both came from,
Yeah.
you know, I don't want to say poverty.
What was
but
you had like you just moved out the city to where was your house before that?
So it was in Riverview.
Yeah.
So when Sherry and I got married, you want to talk about struggles? I'll tell you. I won't say it was a struggle, but we lived with my parents the first year,
I had some. This fucking guy,
and we
this
just
guy.
and we just hoarded money.
I think why is that? I made a post saying that
Yeah, I
most
remember.
people
Cultural.
I think people complaining about not being able to afford a house, move in with your folks, and this one turd. Like I don't know. I haven't blocked him yet. I don't really know why. I don't agree with blocking people because I feel like it's kind of a cowardly way out. But he's one of those guys. He only comes on to talk mad smack on my post. Devin Stone, and he's
I know the
he's
name.
like, you're assuming that most people have parents. Yeah, I'm assuming your parents are alive. I'm assuming you're a 30-year-old
Thank you,
who wants
Einstein.
to buy. Yeah, and my first thing, he's a mortgage rep. It makes it so much better. He sells mortgages, but he's also an entrepreneur who doesn't own a bit. I don't know anything about it, but like he's a bucket of crabs. Imagine the average payment of $1,400 for rent on a low end,
Right.
but for 2 years you're saving $36,000.
No more than that.
Yeah.
Because if you're living with your parents, are you paying gas? Are you paying electric? Are you paying the water?
Yeah,
I mean, are
yeah,
you helping them
yeah,
out?
yeah,
You
yeah,
might be,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, I'm not saying free loaner, but like if I were to, dude, I mean I wouldn't, but if I'm in a position to where I'm like I really want to buy a house, and I've made that it wouldn't just be like Dad throw me a line and help me out. It would be like I'm here to stack money. I would want to be as much of a contributing member of that household as I could. They're going to be happy to see you, by the way. Like, and assuming that's the case for the majority, they're going to be happy to
That's
have
it.
you
I mean,
there,
just pull your
you
weight.
know?
It doesn't have to be financial, right?
Yeah,
Cut
agree.
the grass, shovel the snow, clean
8
the
hours a
house,
day.
do
Which you're going to do as a homeowner. Well, maybe
I am
maybe
not cutting
you. Yeah,
grass
yeah, not
for
you.
8 hours
Not
a
everyone.
day.
Not everyone's got 10 acres they got to cut, right? But like but I think it's a great thing, and it is. I mean, that was how it was for years. Like there, even in what's that script? Not to get talk about the Bible on the real estate podcast, but he's like, I go and prepare a way for you. In my house, in my Father's house are many mansions, and I go and prepare a place for you. Like in that cultural, they just built additions onto the house. That was it. Like the newlywed, like you would get, like they would build an ensuite for the new family because they all stayed close. The concept of I'm going to go out, become independent, move to a different state is anathema. Like it's
That's a very much Western culture,
crazy.
first
It's
world thing.
crazy, right? You think about it, like I'm going to move with these people who don't really know me. And everyone's like, well, I don't live around my parents. Maybe move back to where your parents are. You know, like I mean, like there's solutions. They may not be the easiest or most comfortable, but at the end, I always think about. Probably 3 or 4 days out of the week, I think about my death, and I'm like, who's going to be at your funeral? It's not going to be the guys from work. Like at least most of you guys from work.
Well, you know, we just had that Valor conference, right? You were gone this past weekend.
What is it?
It's called Valor.
What is it?
It was a men's conference.
Oh, yeah.
That's what the conference was on. It was legacy.
dying?
It was on
legacy.
legacy.
Oh, yeah.
What is your legacy going to be? Is it just going to be financial?
Yeah.
Or are you going to plant a seed with your kids where your legacy will live on in them?
That was at your church?
Yeah.
That was at Beacon?
Yeah.
I missed it. Oh, that was that because you had that football player coming in, right?
He was a football player, and now he's a pastor down in Houston. I
Oh, he
think?
doesn't play
Dallas.
anymore. Oh, really?
Dallas.
He's-
Yeah, so
he's the
now
Mavericks.
Did he play
Like-
for the Cowboys?
No, he's like the Mavericks
chaplain.
chaplain, Dallas Mavericks chaplain.
Did
The
they have
basketball.
basketball. He's a bat.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's a chaplain for the Mavericks, but he actually played college football and then he played pro football for a couple of years as well.
Yeah,
too.
I mean that. So that's the. I think that's. I'm a fan of commune living, dude. I really like if. I'm not saying you need to like get married and move right in with your folks, but if I'm cool with my son living with me till he's 25, 26 and saving up to be in a position to be a responsible provider.
That's it.
You know, and provided he's
My
not,
answer is-
he's not an idiot blowing his money, going out
Thank
partying,
Yeah.
then which a lot of them do.
See, and that's the difference. It's the mentality, right? If you're living with me, I don't care if you're living with me.
Yeah.
Just be financially responsible
Yeah.
while you're living with me. And then, like you said, contribute,
Yeah.
right? But if you're just going to go gamble your money, then no, now you're leeching off of me. And I have a problem with that.
Yeah, firmly agree.
Yeah.
If you're living off snap stance, what do you think keeps people from? What do you think keeps people from that?
Culture.
How so? Because I mean, if you don't mind, share your
So you're the
experience.
younger one
Share
here.
your
Perfect
experience. I'm
example.
not gonna speak for you, right? But share your experience so that people understand.
Good luck dating if you live at home in today's culture.
Because
Most people just there's no privacy. I mean, there's just people don't want it, and it's just stigma with it too. So you've got to be alone. You've got to have your own place, and blah blah blah.
That never even crossed.
See,
my
and here's
mind.
where I'm at.
That
I
never
think
even crossed my mind.
I know because
Okay, but you're thinking of it like a 50-year-old man. You just asked me as a 20,
Yeah,
some-year-old to think of it. You're thinking of it as a dad and an adult and blah blah.
I'm
You're
thinking
asking
of
it.
the Kardashians. I even think of the Kardashians, right? They all live in one freaking house.
Yeah, but you go watch the Kardashians, and she told her mom when she was 15 she lost her virginity in the hot tub while her mom was in the living room getting drunk with her friends. So
What does that have to do with?
you
Well,
just
well,
said
clearly-
their parents don't care. They let them do whatever they want. They don't watch them. And you're saying they live in the same household, but I just showed you she's in the next room doing things she shouldn't be, and her mom doesn't care. That's why they still live in the same household. Because
So
they're
you're
the
saying
Wild
kids
West.
that want accountability?
Like, you're asking me.
No, I understand.
And
That's what
I'm
I'm
just
asking.
telling you.
I do. So I do think it's. I think it's. I never considered that. I in my head I'm thinking, if I'm struggling, because I'm thinking I got married at 19, and if things had gotten really. We wanted to buy a house, and it got to a point of you set benchmarks for yourself, and you're like, by 30, I want to have this many kids and own a house. Like you have like the checklist that came from somewhere, whether it was cultural, whatever. And if I'm like 26, 27, and we're still renting, and I'm like, dude, I can't keep up with inflation. I would bring my family back. I would consider bringing my family back to my folks. There would be certainly a level, especially if I'm married and God forbid I got kids, to like it would be humiliating a little bit. It would take a lot of humility to go back and be like, Dad, can I come home and like move? I would do anything I can it's a temporary gig to save the money. But I didn't think about it from being single because to Jordan's point, right. which is interesting. Like if you're like, hey, what do you do? Oh, I'm a real estate. Oh, wow, where do you live? I live with my folks, and
Instant turn off.
It shouldn't be, but it shouldn't be. But like I know for a lot of women, they're like, well, if I go back to his place, what, the folks are going to be there, so that is a turn off. You're obviously looking for a God-fearing woman, so that shouldn't be the motive. But it is kind of like, oh, this guy's a loser. When it's like he's not a loser per se. I'm just
Well, it's
I'm
just
not trying to blow.
culturally.
It's just.
Well, as I said,
I
it's
didn't
culturally.
think
People are like, "Oh, you're 20, whatever, and you're still living at home. Then you don't have money. You don't have this. You're a loser." And fill in the blank.
Is that as much the case? Because the average homeowner, I mean, most 30-year-olds don't own a home.
Well, they don't own the home, but they're renting. It doesn't matter. It's more of, oh, you're on your own. You have money.
To me, renting, living at home, like they're close. They're close. I mean,
no. But again, like I said,
I know.
culturally, for my day and age, single people,
we
good luck.
need to get some. I'm gonna share this clip,
Oh, geez.
and then we're gonna share just this clip and be like, Gen X, you're Gen X, right?
I don't even know what.
How old are you?
27.
Oh,
I'm a 98.
You might be no.
He's a
I don't
Gen
know.
Xer.
Yeah,
I'm
you might
a Gen
barely
Xer.
be. I think you missed millennials by a few years.
I'm in the
You're a
age.
senior Gen Xer.
Yeah, I'm in the age category where, depending on what.
You've got a millennial heart. Like I feel like we'll take you on, dog. Like well, you come into the club. Like you'll be all right.
No,
like,
but I'm at that age, depending on which site you look up on. I'm a millennial. I'm a Gen X. I'm a fill in the blank. I'm a in betweener.
You're
some
a
of them,
senior Gen X.
yeah, some of them have
Yeah.
me, and it depends on, like I said, which site you look up on. On one, I'm a Gen
You're
X,
close.
and one,
Yeah,
I'm a
90 because
millennial.
90 like 89 for sure millennial. Jerry's a boomer's boomer.
I am not a boomer.
You're a boomer, dog.
I am not a
Bro,
boomer.
What year
You're
were
not
you
a
born?
millennial.
Look it up.
I'm
not.
What year were you born?
70.
All right, you're not a boomer.
No,
Like,
I'm not.
what are you?
No,
Gen
boomers
Z?
are older than me.
Gen Z.
I'm Gen Z.
Well, you're an old Gen Z then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I think that's something too.
And it's funny because I've seen those numbers change recently.
They have changed. Yeah.
Which I'm like,
How do you change
no.
generations,
I know,
right?
right?
Yeah, how do
Because
you
I'm like,
change-
some of them don't have me as a Gen Z. I've always been a Gen Z.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
until recently, I'm like, wait, what?
Well, I need to know.
So
who's in charge of naming the generations?
don't know.
They're like, you are the head of like where this next generation come. like Jameson. What's his generation? He was born 3 years ago.
I don't
That's
know
a Generation Alpha.
Stop it.
No, Generation Alpha is 2013 to 25.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, and I miss-
Generation Alpha.
I miss millennial by 2 years on this
So
one.
Landon, so all of them, all my
Yeah.
kids are Generation out there. I'm an Alpha.
Yeah,
Get
they're Gen
out of here.
Alphas.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
After
See,
25, it's going to be Gen. What do you call it? What's the opposite?
Bravo?
No, Omega. No,
Beta?
well, after
beta.
Beta?
Yeah, beta. That's what I was going to say.
Alpha, Beta, Charlie. All right. So next Reddit rundown.
So off topic today.
Yeah, that's okay, man. I'm here for it. Business owners making 250. You have to see it. This is a sight gag here. Business owner making 250K a year applies for a mortgage. Bank, too risky. W-2 worker making 60K a year applies for a mortgage. Bank, step right up. Why is this? I know why this is.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, I know. This is my entire life. I've been self-employed one way or the other, running through 8 corporations since I was 19. The business owner isn't showing that he makes $250,000. So what are you supposed to take? Like they're making $250K a year. If he's getting paid on W-2, there's not a problem. If he's getting paid on a K-9, not a problem. If he's getting paid in cash, there's a problem. There's a problem, right?
I never make anything in cash. So, right? I'm a real estate agent.
Uh-huh.
And so everything is traceable.
Yeah, you
that
have
we
to.
make.
It has to be. Yeah, it has to
Right?
go through escrow. Yeah.
So there's no money that's ever hidden.
Mm-hmm.
However, if there's a legal loophole and I can write off a tax, I'm writing it off, right?
Yes.
And I can write off
of course.
because I am a business owner. I can write off things
Yeah.
that other people can't. And it's all legal though. So at the end of the day,
Avoiding taxes is 100% legal.
absolutely.
Evading taxes is
There you go.
is
And like
the-
Donald Trump said, don't hate me. You made the laws,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, I agree.
So And Jordan's running into this now as well. He's wanting to, buy that house.
Yeah.
Can't
And
because I write so much off.
He was writing
Yeah.
so much off, he didn't qualify.
Yeah,
Perfect
yeah.
example. And now I'm like, dude, it's you figure out what you want to do. You either pay taxes and qualify, or you don't pay taxes.
Dude, you
And
got
I
to see
paid.
this comment.
Uh-oh,
You
go
guys
ahead.
Got it. No,
on a thread or under.
This is on Threads. I can't believe this is real. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt
No,
you.
no,
It just caught me. It says we just did this. I'm trying to share it.
I make $60,000 a year in my loans.
We just did this with 2 million take home. They said it's because it's OnlyFans. It's too risky. We used
Shut
a
the front
private.
door.
And then my favorite. It's from the account Our Sexless Marriage. Please be a marriage coach. Please. Just a mister with a very hot wife and big smile. Lots and lots of...
What?
I have so many questions.
Not to get even
I
more
have
off
so- I
topic,
have
but
so-
the amount of money that they make just shows how many weird,
Desperate.
desperate. I don't even know. I'm trying to think of names that I can call them without getting in trouble. But men that pay them.
Yeah.
Wow.
The top are
Myth-
some of the top
fetishes,
earners,
right? Yeah.
well, no, I'm talking about they're just women. They're hot and they make 40-50 million dollars a year.
50
Shut up.
million?
40 million
for
just posting.
For
whatever.
I don't understand.
I don't understand either.
Okay. So OnlyFans is not
I don't know.
all. It's not all like porn.
No, it is. No, that's what I'm saying. Those guys.
Okay, so it is.
It's
it is
pretty
porn.
much it.
Okay.
So it's
Yeah.
porn.
Yeah.
It's not just like these women aren't making 40 million a year by just sharing stories. of
No,
hate
no,
and
no,
life.
no, no.
Okay, so
It's-
they're
it's-
showing
it's-
TNA.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that's
Stupid
That's
money.
not hard for me to believe. That's not hard for me to believe.
The amount of it's crazy.
That's not
though.
hard for me to believe
It
at
is.
all.
To
I
me,
mean,
it's
all
crazy.
you need is half the men in America to pay you $1 a year. That's not hard for me to believe at all.
But when I say it's not just one, it's like multiple and multiple.
so you pay 100 of your favorite girls. Like that's not hard. I thought it was like equivalent, like an Instagram story,
No.
and they
Now,
just
there are-
subscribe to be a fan.
there
to like
are-
follow this chick going around to Target. Not a chance.
Yeah, no, there are pages like that, but the vast.
Yeah, they're only
vast,
making
vast-
2 million.
Yeah.
No,
yeah,
the vast
yeah.
majority of the people making money on that site are
There's
glorified prostitutes.
Yeah. So, and this guy hit the nail on the head because many business owners deduct too much to avoid taxes. Well, it's a little bit trickier too because as a business owner, like unless I suppose you're paying quarterly taxes or whatever, probably the least painful way to do it, depending which way you look at it, is to do it through W-2 because and then withdraw the taxes and pay them in. Because then it's like you're not getting a $40,000 tax bill at the end of the year or $20,000 tax bill at
why
the
I write off.
at the end of the year.
So I didn't get that huge.
But for a mortgage, anybody that's been in business for a while understands. See, make the easiest way to get a loan is to put yourself on the payroll, not just a business owner.
Yeah.
Because if
Yeah.
you're taking stock or dividends or
Yeah.
however you want to take
Yeah.
your money, there's a problem with that. But if you're on payroll and pay yourself like a management fee, consulting fee, whatever you want to call it fee, but it's consistent, then the banks the mortgage rep should not even question you on, are you the owner, even though they may know.
Yeah.
Now you're talking about, hey, you're just payroll. That's all we care about because we're going to take what do you make a month? What do you make a week? And if you're on a payroll that's consistent, then they're going to ask you probably for your last 3 or 4 months pay stubs and, your last 2 year.
Yeah. 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 That's personally, I don't mind it. I guess that's not true. I mean, because it was a pain to get a house. Like it was a real pain to get a house. And to your point, Jordan, I had to, the 2 prior years, I just had to bite the bullet and pay taxes.
And that's what I'm
But
doing.
now get a loan, like getting a loan, it's a headache. It's a headache, right? But I don't mind it because then it limits you. It kind of handcuffs you a little bit.
It does.
Yeah,
Keeps
which I don't mind.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm with you.
Not terrible with it. Not terrible. Not mad about it. All right. Why are people so ticked and doing this is a sentence fragment by Socrates' protege. Why are people so ticked and doing think pieces about 50-year mortgages? People don't typically stay in their homes that long. I think the median amount of time people stay in is 12 years. He's wrong. Stop with these fake analysis on equity takes as if the majority of the people stay in the same home forever. It's pointless.
100% agree. Even though he's wrong on his time, 12 is really
Yeah.
around 5 to 7. Yes, you're not building up the equity as quickly as somebody who did a 30. The difference is probably around 20 grand. I think Jordan and I figured out over that.
That's what I'm gonna pull. I'm gonna pull up that. Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing that with me.
Yeah, after 5 years, it was 20 grand
So
or 20-ish.
yeah, but
After 5 years, the difference in balance is $20,413 between a 30-year and 50-year
Yeah.
at a $400,000 house at 6% interest rate.
and that's over how many years?
That was over
That was
5.
after the 5
Yeah,
year.
so you're talking $4,000 a year.
Yeah.
I mean, and I don't want to say it's negligible, but it's really not that much if you're buying the house of your dreams. And don't forget now your $400,000 house, if you're using round numbers,
Uh-huh. Thank you.
right?
Yep.
If you're using what the average house increases in value, I'm using a conservative number of 5%.
Yep.
That $20,000, it's a wash.
And
I mean,
it's going up 20,000 a year for 5 years. So it's even just I kind of I view it as, I mean, paying the equity down paying the balance down is great, but what you're doing is just freezing your dollar in time. You're kind of freezing your rent, if you will, in time, and so that stays stable, which is your mortgage payment and tax go up a negligible amount, and then the equity goes up. Now, you're assuming it's an appreciated market. Yes, I'm assuming that
Over the last 100 years,
I'm assuming
yeah.
that inflation will increase. Yes, that is an assumption based on
Where's Devin?
a century of data, right? That's an assumption.
Based on worldwide data.
Based on worldwide data across centuries. This is not an assumption; it's fact. Yeah, that guy. There should be like some form of a man. Yeah, to be able to post things like that is wild. But yeah, so you're paying your balance difference in balance is 20,000 more, but it's not like the house. It's not like you're gonna be. I guess if the market drops, I guess if the market drops, right? Like that's the only. And if the market drops, then you need to be in a position to be prepared to.
well, and it goes back to
tough.
don't live beyond your means.
Yeah.
And I'm not.
If you can't afford the 30% tops is the mortgage payment. Whatever that is, whether it's a 50-year or 30-year, for 30% of your take home.
I don't think I've spent more than 25% ever.
Yeah, you boomer.
Ever. That's right.
Yeah.
You don't know what it's like. You don't know what
You
it's
don't know
like.
the struggle.
I will say, what are you drinking right? Is that coffee you made at home?
Coffee.
You
I made it home.
You made it
Yeah.
home. What type of coffee? Like Keurig?
It is, but yes and no. It's a Keurig, but it's actually a
Frothy?
5-pound can because our canisters are reusable.
That's disgusting.
Why?
Like that's gross.
It's just-
they wash it.
Have you
Well,
had
no,
that?
it's-
Have
it's
you
a-
had that coffee?
I don't drink coffee. Like period. I
Ever?
don't like coffee. I've had coffee once, and it was at a volcano in Guatemala, and that's because I was at a coffee
That had
farm.
to be
When you say at
strong.
a
Yes.
volcano,
Yes.
like
An actual volcano?
like an active volcano?
The one that we were taking pictures behind the coffee the coffee place was not active, but we did go to an active one that
Okay.
trip. It was actually pretty cool. We cooked some marshmallows in there. Like,
Say it again. Wait,
So-
hang on. Maybe I'm
So-
misunderstanding how volcanoes work.
so once after, like, it wasn't active at that time. We climbed to a certain point where there were still hot parts, and there's like you could find like these little caves almost, and they give us marshmallows, and you'd have to go
In
find,
Guatemala.
and we'd have to go find like a hot pocket almost. And we
As you can tell, I really didn't love my kids. I
Yeah,
just
no.
let them go wherever they wanted.
That is insane. Where were you?
No, I was
was
on
at
a mission
home.
trip. Yeah, I was on
was a
my
This
missions
was a
trip.
missions
Yeah.
trip.
This was just like usually on the trips you get like one day to kind of have fun. And I don't say have fun,
Go
but
risk
kind of
your life on
explore.
a
And,
volcano.
it was we're fine. We had to ride horsebacks up it, but it was fun. Completely off the top
Ride
again.
horsebacks.
Yeah, instead of walking up the mountain because it was it took us a few hours to get up there. I mean, again, it's Guatemala. It's not like it's
And that was your one and only time trying coffee.
yeah, that was it. Trying coffee.
What? I feel like
It was really strong.
I feel like you could give it a second shot. You know, like I mean, I don't care. Look, if it ain't broke, don't fix. So what do you drink? Energy drinks instead?
No.
Nothing.
Yeah. I don't even like drinking pop anymore because then I can't sleep at all at night.
You just
He's a water guy.
you wake up and drink water.
Yeah.
That's impressive. What plain water is so gross. Like I could do maybe some citrus in it, but
I don't even really drink juice or anything. It's pretty much like
That's-
90% water and the occasional glass of pop for lunch.
Okay.
Have you ever had Fiji water?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
really
it's
good too.
it's a weird taste.
No,
yeah.
It's a yeah.
it's like liquid gold.
It
I don't
is
know
pretty
why.
good.
Outta here. You're gonna
Listen,
tell me
water
about
is-
making coffee at home, and you're talking about Fiji water. For
Well, I won't buy it.
$4 bottle. It's like
I
if
never-
someone gives me a Fiji water,
There
I'll
you
take
go.
it. Okay, that's all right. Well, yeah, there you go. So you're saying you've never had a mortgage payment more than 25% of your take home, but I guess you always see you bring coffee in a cup. That's gross.
Listen,
I've done the can
always.
stuff.
If
and
anybody
the-
knows me, they can tell you. I mean,
Yeah.
I can tell you hundreds of stories.
I know.
You know,
Cheap.
I'm just very frugal.
Cheap is another word for it that I've
frugal.
been many people have called.
And
I mean I guess I realized how cheap. You're not cheap. I think it's not even the money thing to you. It's just like, well, if I don't have to. And I was thinking of when we were at what was the Great Bear Dunes?
Oh, Sleeping Bear Dunes.
Sleeping Bear?
Bear Dunes.
Yeah.
And we paid to get into the park, and Jerry was like upset about it. He's like, "What? We have to pay
like
to get in?"
$100.
But
No,
it
it
was
wasn't
not
even. It was
$100.
like
It was like
$25.
$20.
Okay,
It was like
fine,
25
$25
for a vehicle. He's like, "Oh man, come on!" And there's like 5 of us in the car,
Five
and
grown
and we're
adults.
like, "Jerry, we'll get you our share of the $20.
Like, we'll give you
for
$5.
this." And so he's like, "Oh man, and he's like trying to find a workaround. Anyway, so
I did.
we get to that. Well, no, you had to pay. Like there was no workaround of getting into the park.
True, but I got-
so then we go down to the Sleeping Bear Dunes, and
Which is a
and
wonderful experience.
It's all right. And then
Dave's like, I ran down it. It's okay.
No, I front rolled down.
Oh,
that
that's
thing.
true,
I
yeah.
front rolled down that thing.
I've got the video if people wanna see it.
And so then we're on our way back out, and Jerry's like, I'm gonna see if I can catch someone else going into the national parks office, and he's scalping these tickets. He's like, hey, do you want these? And this guy's like, I'm just in this car, like, dude, this is ridiculous. Like,
Yeah.
like I'm front seat. I was like, I wish I was back seat right now. Like, this seems a little. This is crazy. Like, and he's like, what? So you're hawking a state park pass? What'd you get? Like 50 cents on the
yeah, I
dollar?
got like 50 cents on a dollar.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you got your $10 back.
That's right.
There you go. To me, I'm like, dude, like
It's not worth my time and
I
headache.
I just there. You want to talk about stigma? I'm like, I don't know. Like I got to approach a stranger in a parking lot. Like, hey, what if they don't think I'm up to no good? Like what if they think I'm causing trouble or I'm trying to ask for money? You know, I don't know.
I got friends that know jujitsu.
For $10, I don't know. Yeah, for $10, I might let it slide. I don't know.
Whatever.
All right, so we got a final one here. Donald Trump is proposing to create a 50-year mortgage through the FHFA. The median home price in the U.S. is $500,000, which is it's so much lower in Michigan, for the record.
Yeah.
At 6.5% interest with average Wisconsin taxes and insurance included, 30-year payment. Ouch! 30-year payment is $39.20. Total is $1.4 million paid. 50-year payment is $35.80. Total is $2.15 million paid. That's $1.6 million in interest. That means you pay 3 times the home's original price over 30 years and 4 times the home's original price over 50 years.
And
Cozy J.
okay.
What is the home worth after 30 years?
Well, that's a great question.
What's the home worth? Yeah, what's the home worth after 30 years?
There's so many different factors that would go into that.
Yeah,
Was it maintained?
yeah.
You know, the area.
30 years is such a
30
hard-
years.
I
That's
can't even tell you what the
crazy.
market's like going to be looking like
Well,
next year.
we
let
see
alone
people
30
all the
years from now.
time. Like I'm showing homes on the weekly that are the houses are, anywhere between usually between $200,000 and $300,000 range, and in Michigan, and it's not uncommon to see like someone they bought it in the '90s for $50,000, and they're selling it for $300,000. That's sixfold. That's
good
a
investment.
sixfold. Yeah, it's the sixfold increase. So even let's just play it out. Let's say they paid, did a 30-year thing, and they paid 3 times the home's value, right? Because they didn't. If you had cash, you would have paid cash, but you didn't have cash, so now you get to pay for the benefit of using someone else's cash. That's how banks work. That's how any lending works. And so now you've got, even if you paid 3 times the original purchase price, it's worth 6. And you got into the game where you otherwise would not have been able to get into. This whole like, I'm paying on insurance.
Well, and taxes and insurance, you're factoring. I mean,
that's true.
a
That's
huge
true.
thing,
That's
too.
valid. That's actually very valid. Yeah, taxes and insurance should not be included in there. Yep.
I'm trying to think because my house was built in 2001, right?
Yeah.
So I'm almost at that 30-year mark, but it has gone through. I'm the third owner. There, which goes back to
Your house has doubled in price in the past 5 years.
yeah.
So
7
Yeah.
years,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's doubled in the last 7. And I don't know what he built it for. That's what I was trying to
2000?
think. In 2000.
was the barn there?
Well, not my barn. I mean,
Yeah.
because thanks to Jordan. The other one was there.
I
The
would
cinder
bet-
block one
I
was
would
there.
bet in 2000. I
wanna
could
say it was
see
around
paying
2
$350.
I want to say he was around 250 or 275, but
250, 275 was balling, like
It might have been
balling
3
into 2000s.
it
so.
might have been because he was probably around that $110, $120 a square foot back then, and my house is 3250 somewhere in there.
Yeah.
So he probably was around that 350 mark would be my guess.
Yep.
Yeah. So there's your answer.
Yeah. So thanks. I was aware of interest only, but not heard of the 50-year mortgages. Yeah. This guy says, "Good job. You explain how interest works. Want a cookie or something?" Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, I think the goal is always to pay it off quicker, and if you can get it now, there's also in 30 years, I hope I'm not making the same amount that I'm making today.
Well, and
You
that's
know?
what you got to take into consideration. Your house payment stays the same for 30 years.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, even the cost of living increase, whether like that's going to go up, right? Like what were people making? What was the average salary 30 years ago? A lot less. Yeah. It's not.
Okay, 30 years ago, I was making.
I see steam coming out of his
As a
headphones.
police officer, I think I was making $12.75 an hour.
So 24 grand a year, 25 grand a year. Okay.
Yeah.
Now what do they make? 75?
Now?
75?
Nah, they're like 80. Yeah, depending on where you're at,
Yeah,
they're
Where
making
you're,
they're
yeah.
balling. Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
they can make some
I don't know
great
about
money.
balling, but
Yeah.
Well, you add in how their retirement accounts work,
Yeah.
because they can build up their time, they can bank it. I know some.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're making 6-figure incomes easy.
Sure.
Easy.
Sure.
one thing to add, though, I think on the 30 versus 50 year is they're talking about doing this to help the housing market. I don't see how this really helps the housing market. It's more of like hey, we want to make things temporarily more affordable for you. So here's a way to lower the payment. But in reality, what are you actually solving by
We don't
doing
need the
this?
government backing anything else. That's why I will say to that, like you said, 50 years been around for a minute, but we don't need you. There needs to be some consequence of failure, not put on that you bear yourself, not that's put on to others. I think, and that applies. I believe that applies to. That should apply to student loan. That should apply to
Everything across the board.
Mortgages. That should apply to a business. That should.
And there's an easy. I don't want to say there's an easy fix to the housing crisis, but there is a fix to the housing crisis. It just nobody wants to hear it.
Deregulation. Is your
Well, I think
answer?
deregulation for new construction.
Oh, I see.
But for the existing housing market, this is not going to be popular, at least by 50% of the people or more. But illegal immigration. We've got 10 to 30 million illegal immigrants living in the country. You remove 10 to 30 million people, that's going to free up some housing. Contrary to what the other side may think, it's just common sense, right? You can't say, let's stop the leak, but you still allow water to come in. You got to plug the
that
leak,
would increase the supply.
right?
Yeah, for
so
sure.
the supply would increase by just removing, and
Where are they? How are they? Are they just working cash and paying for houses?
Well,
no.
rentals and different things like. Oh, I mean, there's a bunch of different.
Yeah,
options.
there's options out there.
And there,
I
you
mean,
can even buy a house, and I mean, there's ways around it. But
I mean, they're not homeless, right? So
Yeah, sure.
I mean, they're living somewhere.
Sure,
And so if you take that out, there's only 350 million people in the United States, and if you take 10 to 20 out million family wise, I mean, you take the 350 average probably family of 3. You know, now I mean, you do start doing the math in reduction right out of the homes. That's a significant amount of people that are going to
I think
free up some housing.
that and large corporations.
They're,
owning
they're
single-family
working on it,
housing.
right?
Yeah.
They're working on it. Not quick enough, but they're working on
they're
it.
working on it.
And Jordan did bring up something just now about
Large
corporations.
and single family. I mean, it's not a huge like, oh yeah, it's going to change everything, but they own a decent amount where, I mean, truthfully, I don't see why a large corporation needs to own single family homes. Not talking about the, quote unquote person who's, I'm working under an LLC and, yeah, sure, I may have 100 homes, but it's because I've worked 20 years to get these 100 homes.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the quote unquote Whitestone, corporation who buys, single family houses by the thousands.
I think they have like 50,000.
It's-
There's one that has
yeah.
50,000, one has 100,000. But and Jordan and I will disagree. Jordan and I will disagree on this. Where I'm looking at it, that's being an entrepreneur, right? If I got 10 friends, and I'll just say millions, right? We all throw in $1 million. That's $10 million. And if we want to start buying housing up to flip or to rent, that's our prerogative. Why shouldn't we be able to? That's the American dream, right?
I did see there was a Kurt clip, and he was saying, but the threshold was astronomical. It was like 500 billion. Hedge funds over 500.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. And I'm
over
not
500
talking
over-
about.
it was not.
I'm
you
talking
don't,
about-
you don't get that many friends.
So that's what I'm saying.
500 billion.
Large corporations
Yeah.
like, and that's where Whitestone, right? I think we all know who I'm talking about. That's where I'm
I
targeting.
still don't
not
understand why we
Blackstone.
can't name them. But like,
It's
so
Blackstone,
they
yeah.
fall under it too, eh? Like as
No,
far as
I mean,
definition.
I was
Yeah.
just joking. I mean, you could say it doesn't really matter. It's not like they're gonna come after me, whatever.
They're watching my podcast. They're watching. They're on here, right? The lawyers are watching it, track it. They got AI bots. What am I saying?
But no, I mean, I'm not like I said, I'm not talking about the even millionaires. Like, throw another one, Grant Cardone or whatever. Like, dude, you're not a large corporation.
Right.
You're
Right.
not the. I mean, even if you take, I mean, what's the company? I mean, you've got how many companies under like P&G?
Procter & Gamble.
Yeah, Procter. Like they own. When you look at it, it's like Lysol. That's a Procter and Gamble. This.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys own
They own
multiple.
They own like 50 brands.
Yeah, and then, I mean, they're not the ones buying the single-family houses,
Sure.
but that's what I'm talking about. Like, you're not a multi-billion-dollar company, and then you're going to go, oh, yeah, let's just take up this entire block of real
Yeah.
estate. Like,
Yeah.
that's where I think we need to kind of draw the line, not the millionaire. But
And-
that's, again, my personal...
And to your point, like they're not 100% of it, but it's it's something, and at least I mean then there's depends on what they're buying too,
Yeah.
which areas. Like they're not buying the $500,000 homes.
No.
They're buying the lower ones. The lower side, so they're at least fixing them up.
Yeah, well, sometimes, but in some cases, they weren't even doing that because I knew I'm getting a house
Section 8.
in 2020 for 2% on a 2% loan because I'm buying, I'm getting from the bank an even cheaper interest rate because I'm, putting so much down and yada, yada, yada. So I've got this house for 2%. I don't even need to have somebody renting it. It just sits vacant. And I'm still making money on it because I'm only paying 2% interest on it. And then I'm
And that part I would have a problem with because when they start to do that, and you're talking about a whole block, right? If you own 2 or 3 people on that block and another company comes in and buys that entire block,
Yeah.
if they fail to do something with it, then what's going to happen to those 2 or 3 people that are on there? It's going to devalue their property.
Sure. Yeah.
To the point where they want to sell and get out,
Yeah.
right, or whatever. And I'm assuming that's probably the goal of those investors, and then buy those property, then rip it all down and make it something big and beautiful. I don't have a problem with a short term buying city blocks, right? But when you're buying it to devalue the rest of the neighborhood and wait it out, you've got deeper pockets, right? They can
Sure.
wait it out compared to the people that have, lived there and don't have as much money.
Sure.
That I have a problem with. To me, that's manipulating a market
Yeah,
to
yeah, absolutely.
to do
Yeah.
something, and I have a problem with that. And so, I mean, you'll hear the term, what's it called? Can't even remember the name of the term, where they come in and build up a neighborhood.
You're
And
talking about gentrification?
thank you. And so I'm not a real fan of people complaining about that, because
Yeah,
to me,
I
on the
agree.
short term, right? If you own the home and then somebody comes in and makes the houses across the street worth $300,000 and your house prior to that was only worth $100,000,
Yep.
well, now your house is worth $300,000.
Yeah.
They didn't price you out of your neighborhood. Now you have a $300,000 house,
Yep.
and your payment didn't go up.
Correct.
Your taxes can't go up more than 5% per year.
Correct. Yep.
So they didn't price you out of your house. Be happy.
Yeah, I've never understood the issue with gentrification.
Large portion of it is, you have to remember, they don't, well, I won't say large portion, but a certain portion is they don't own the homes, right? They're renting the homes. They're all renting the homes.
Oh,
So
I
when
see.
you
Yeah, you get
flip
re-
the
you get
house and you
renters,
flip the
yeah.
house, well, now the houses are going for $2,000 in rent, not $1,200 in rent. And now you just got priced out. And that's where the most complaint
If
is.
I see.
But it's
I
because
see.
you have
Yeah.
to remember the large portion in those areas aren't buying, they're
see.
renting.
Yeah, I see.
So
I
they
see.
get priced out in that instance. Now the ones who do own their home, they still complain because of X, Y, and Z reasons. Well, now I have to keep my house looking a certain way too, and I don't want to do all that work. Well, that's exactly why your house rates haven't gone up in the past 50 years. Not to go back to the new home construction topic though, because I forgot to mention it. There was actually a bill to try and get fire suppression systems in every new home construction.
Oh my gosh.
The
Oh my
estimated
gosh.
cost would have been $35,000 to the builder, which obviously gets
Oh my
passed
gosh. Yeah, that would be terrible.
to the homeowner. And they're like, in a time of affordability, talking about houses are unaffordable, you want to add a $35,000 cost to every new construction.
Back to regulations.
And that's where I was, because
Yeah.
I just forgot about it, and then I just remembered, and I just wanted to talk about it before I forgot again. But that's a type of regulation that we were talking about, and it thankfully got shut down.
Can you imagine?
No, they were pushing it, and it was getting there. But
who
the
again?
state.
What's the incentive for them? Like
Gotta be
It's safety.
safer.
It's safety.
Sure. Would the house be safer if you did that? Yes or no? Yes.
sure.
But there's a cost
Sure.
to that.
Yeah.
Right? It's like I tell people, listen, there's a
My house would be cheaper too if it was all steel and there was no wood. I mean, there'd be no termites, but it's
Yeah.
going to increase the. I mean,
Yeah,
that's,
I mean, I joke and tell people, I'm like, listen, there's a cost to that, and where does the cost end up being more than I don't want to say human life isn't worth it, right?
Yeah.
But the value. Chocolate, perfect example. I'm like, chocolate, Hershey's chocolate. Do you know there's rodent hairs in your Hershey's chocolate?
Is there?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
FDA allows it.
and that not just Hershey's. This is
It's
food
all
across.
chocolate. It's all your food.
It's
It's like
food,
green
period.
beans. A can of green beans is allowed to have like 3 rodent hairs per, like gallon or something stupid. I can't
You know,
remember.
it's
if you want to
it's
Google
rodent
it,
hairs, feces,
fecal matter, body parts, not body parts from humans, but
Sure,
animals.
sure.
So you can have like a dead fly in every gallon. That's permissible under FDA, guidelines. Because what do you want? A sanitary building? Like,
The sterile building. Yeah.
Yeah, sterile.
Yeah.
I mean, do you know what the cost of a can of green beans is going to be if you want to do that? I mean, you can do it. And that's what people don't understand. There's a cost factor that has to balance out. And a $30,000 fire suppression system in a home, when fire detectors will work 99% of the time,
Correct. Yeah.
if you put batteries in it,
Because the other thing that they weren't, and this is one of the reasons why thankfully it got shut down too, but insurance. They're like,
Oh,
it'll cover,
dude.
it'll lower your insurance costs, because that was one of the reasons why they wanted to do it. But the other thing that they weren't thinking of, okay, so now I have a fire suppression system in my house, which means
Cost
what?
to replace.
Cost
Now
to
you-
replace.
now you gotta get it
cost to
certified every
repair,
year.
Yeah.
Cost to repair. So now what happens when there's a water leak? Well, now I've got to replace all the drywall and everything too. So it's just there were so many different caveats that people were just like not even.
That was it.
thinking
That
of.
was in Michigan.
Yeah. That was a Michigan thing. And again, this goes back to like the state.
It's like you're
not
in an
knowing.
office and you're just like, yeah, we should I need to say that I did something this term. And so you're going around like meddling with things that aren't necessarily broke because you can't really touch the things or the people that are really broke. And so you just start playing like that's crazy.
Well, it goes
Yeah.
back to, like you said, how many congressmen, and again, we were looking at 30% on the national level for
Yeah.
state Congress,
Yeah, yeah,
or
yeah.
for Congress was 30% business. You look at a state level with Congress,
Senate.
you'd be,
Or House of Representatives,
Yeah, House and
sorry.
Senate. Well, even Senate too. But you look at the House and Senate on the state level and how many of them and what they did prior to getting into politics. Fill in the blank. I mean, you've got nurses, teachers, and again, not knocking nurses or teachers, but if you're a teacher, you have no idea anything about buildings and real estate and whatever, and you're also voting on things like that. And they just talk to two people and they think they got their opinion down, and then they go and vote. And that's how politics works.
Interesting.
And that's why nothing gets done correctly.
Interesting.
Nothing.
Well, that's the skinny on the 50-year news. Whether something comes of it, we don't know. I mean, they are still available. I mean, conventionally, they're not backed. They're not an FHA product, not a federal product at the moment, but they do exist. And I don't know if anyone at this table is going, when you scan your goals and what you're looking for, if we're going to recommend that one for you versus another. Obviously, the goal is always to pay it down sooner. Get you into something that is under 30% of your take home, or if you're Jerry, under 18% of your take home pay, I suppose. And other than that, you guys, so if you're looking to buy or sell in Michigan, we are licensed. We're Synergy Realty Group in Woodhaven, and we work with, of course, first time. Is there any good grants coming up for first time home buyers? Dude, I heard there's another agent I know, they got the $15,000 grant in Lincoln Park, and their client left closing with a check.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that'll happen.
You guys got it's only for Lincoln Park, or it was only for select areas.
Lincoln
being
Park is
one.
one. It's the National Faith Home Buyer and it's Wayne County. So there's certain targeted cities in Wayne
Targeted
County
cities,
that get
Lincoln
the
Park is
15.
one. Yeah,
Now National Faith should be coming back with their $20,000
that's the one I'm waiting.
come
for. Yeah.
January,
Yeah,
because it gets
January.
well, I don't know if it's January, February. It
Beginning
gets
of the year,
refunded, but at
yeah.
the beginning of the year it gets refunded, but it's only until they run out of funds. So you may.
Hop on that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
like there's,
for sure.
I've had so many.
I mean, Josh
They just drag their feet, man.
got it.
20 or 25.
I was 25. That's
I
the
think
one
we got
thought
to
was
25,000.
Yeah,
one.
and I mean, it pays down your principal. It pays your closing costs. It usually doesn't allow too much to be given back to the buyer
They
or
got
potential
concessions.
buyer.
They got
Oh,
concessions,
concessions.
yeah.
That makes sense then.
Yeah.
Because I would say normally with those, they don't allow the grant money to be given to the buyer, but
Correct.
they will say, "Hey, you bought a $150,000 house. You've got 15,000, so you've got 15,000 of the down payment used. You got 10,000 left. We'll just knock your 150 mortgage down to a 140." So
Yeah,
that way,
it's
I mean,
crazy.
that helps a lot. I mean, they were even doing that though with the Michigan 15,000.
Yep.
I helped
Yep.
somebody when they bought a house in 19, and a couple grand went off the principal because
sick.
it was
That's
3.5% on 130. Well, you only need $5,000 for the down payment. You got a couple extra thousand
these
for
are good
closing
programs,
costs,
man.
and
Yeah.
Oh, they're and another thing, if you want to do, if you don't want to like knock it off your mortgage part, let's assume you're at 6.5,
Buy it
and
down.
you do plan on staying there for a while. I mean, you can buy down the loan with points,
Mm.
and so there's different options out there to get you to a lower payment as well, depending on what your needs are.
That's sick.
and not to what do you call it? Change subjects again. But that guy who did the 15,000
Mm-hmm.
bought a house in Southgate for 135 completely. It was a flip, so
It's already
it was completely
done.
redone,
So you didn't have to do anything to it.
Wow.
and it's worth 250
yeah,
now.
Yeah, you can't touch anything. In
250 now?
That was in 2019.
2019, December of 2019, or not December. It was December of like 2018, so it was like beginning of 2019.
Yep. Yep. That's Southgate, y'all. So, all right, guys. Well, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Of course, you can reach out to us, on socials. Our Synergy Realty Group in Woodhaven. You can see all of the agents. You can pick your favorite, the one that you like the most, or you want to interview. Of course, you can check them out as well. So, appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next show.